I want to say congratulations about Watchmen. I saw it this past
Thank you.
weekend and I absolutely loved it. It was so up my alley. You were so good in it. I had an absolute blast with it. So
Oh, thank you.
congratulations.
Well, I haven't seen it, and I would say no spoilers, but I already know what happens. So, but I'm glad you enjoyed it because it's really at the end of the day, we can only do so much, and DC did a knockout job with the animation. It's a completely 100% faithful rendering of the graphic novel, which to me was not just integral, but 100%, was the proving factor for this to succeed. So I'm looking forward to seeing it, and I'm glad that you were affected.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. No, I loved it. And so you're obviously voicing Rorschach in the movie. Huge iconic character from one of the most influential comics of all time.
Oh yeah.
How does that feel? Was that daunting at all to get that call and be like, you got to voice this character, or were you ready, game, and into it?
Well, I was excited and felt privileged and honored to do it because I was a huge fan from the time when the book first came out. So
Sure.
um, no, it wasn't. I mean, not really daunting, but there was an extremely successful live action film version of it. Jackie did an amazing job. Um, but obviously, you need to make something your own. So I wasn't going to do my impression of Jackie doing Rorschach and Kovacs, but I wanted to pay homage to him to a certain degree because I what he did was incredible. So I was able to find my version of it, and it was pure pleasure. But no, you definitely feel the weight of that kind of responsibility because I'm a huge fan, a collector, and a comic book person, and so I know there have been some missteps in casting in the past with things where I go, why would you cast that? He's so not right for that character. Fortunately, it's been few and far between. I will say, David Hasselhoff as Nick Fury was, you know,
You know,
that was an unfortunate mistake. But anyway, not to shit can David Hasselhoff. I'm sure he's a lovely guy. But anyway, yeah.
yeah, sure. And I'm sure it's kind of challenging too with a character like Rorschach, where his face is hidden the whole movie. Obviously, it's voiceover, so you can't really communicate with any body language. And he's not much of a talker. I mean, you're not going to have a casual conversation with Rorschach. So I'm sure it was your lines when you had him, you got to make the most of it. Was that hard or challenging?
I think that was really sort of my overall mission to do it was to try to bring that humanity and some sense of accessibility to that character because his face changes, but it's within the mask, right?
Mhm.
So it was to also try to find in watching that. I did go back and rewatch the film a few times just because I wanted to kind of synchronize some sort of a emotion connected to the movement with the mask. And obviously I wasn't voicing it to the animated film. It was the other way around. So um, that was the challenge. But yeah, that's a long-winded yes to your question.
Sure. Gotcha. And it's such a complicated character too. I mean, he has a mask. He's technically a superhero, but he's not a good person. Do you think, or how much humanity do you see in Rorschach?
I think he's a byproduct and he's a survivor of you know chronic abuse, physical and mental, and but there is a part of him which still has a moral compass, which even though his approach to things is deeply violent, but he's going after bad people. So um, that's okay. That makes him sort of an anti-hero, for lack of a better word. And I found him very interesting. And look, the comedian is no saint. I
Yeah.
mean, he he's a rapist
Hmm.
and a sadist, and yet if you ask a lot of people, they like the comedian. They like that character, and God knows Jeffrey Dean Morgan did a phenomenal job of playing that character in the live action.